So this next deer is Short 10 Junior. The reason we're calling him that is because at the beginning of the year we thought he was this deer you'll see at the end of our hit list segment here called Short 10. And after Short 10, the real Short 10 actually did show up, we realized it wasn't him, but we weren't going to give up on that name, so we called him Short 10 Junior. This is another deer, we just don't know who he was from last year. Great deer. You guys have seen him on the website or Facebook. Uriah had a great video encounter with him out in the Grove. Came to what, 5-8 yards, something like that.
Yeah.
Great encounter. We're gonna assume this deer's 4.5. He's a weird deer because some pictures we look at him, like even this picture right here, he looks old. He looks easily 4.5, and then some other video and pictures we have of him, we think, well, you know, he could be 3.5. Who knows? You know, but we're pretty confident he's 4.5. That's what hurts about not knowing who this deer was from last year. Whereas Lucky, I seen Lucky. We had pictures of him, tons of pictures of him. He was 3.5 last year. I'm almost certain 4.5 this year. This deer, again, we feel confident he's 4.5. But again, we can't. That's why trail cameras are so important in hunting and encounters and all that. We can't say for sure. But based on his pictures, body size, he's got that little bit of a hump behind his shoulder, a little bit of a pot belly. Obviously, his racks looks pretty mature. And I think, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, we've had him a lot up in the northern part of the Grove.
Yeah.
And where else have we seen him here?
We've seen him on the west side. He's very popular on the west side. Here recently, he has been up in the north on the Grove, and even traveled as far as down south with the two most mature deer that we have out here. He does not hang close to them by any means, but he does travel around.
All right, we're down to our two main goals, I'm going to say here. Two that get us the most excited, and especially this guy because he's legend of the farm. You know, again, I've only been hunting here since last year, and I knew how much of a legend he was learning from Kyle. This deer, we hate to give an age on him because we really don't know. Another guy hunting here thought he was at least a 5.5 last year, which would make him 6.5. Me and Uriah tend to think he's a 6 or a 7.5. Was a 6.5 last year. As you can see, unbelievable beams, tine length. His rack comes back in to each other. I don't even know on those brow tines, maybe 8-inch brow tines, 9-inch brow tines. And you see in the next photo we're about to show you here. I mean, just look at that deer. I mean, he's just a boss. I mean, and you know why we call him Big Brow, obviously from this picture. I mean, he is just an unbelievable 8-pointer. I have no problem saying last year I thought he was right at 160, and as you know, that's an unbelievable 8-pointer. You know, we got pictures of him this year that maybe we can, it's hard to tell in this picture, but on the next picture, let's go to the next picture and see if we can zoom in on that. It's hard to tell here because we got some background, but his left side looks like it might have fallen off. I actually think his right side looks better, and his brow tine there, almost. I mean, again, I hate throwing out numbers on trail cam pictures, but I'm gonna guess I could put a yardstick ruler and measure 12 inches on that right brow tine almost. So I think his right side got better. So we're wondering if he didn't maybe get injured last year or whatever. But his left side in this picture, it's kind of hard to tell. Looks like it might be a little. Let's go back to the other picture, see if we can see. You know, his left G2 obviously looks okay right there, but it's hard to say what's going on with that G3. But either way, he's an old deer. That's what we're after. He's a legend. I could care less if he's 130 inches this year. I would be going after him. He's, you know, at least 6.5, if not 7.5, and just an awesome deer. Last deer on our hit list here, a deer we call Short 10. And you can see most of our names. I guess we're not the most creative name callers, but you can see why we call him short tin. Big O, long, wide, sweeping beams. But this is a picture of him last year, around this time. You know, good, decent brow tines, real good mass. But anyways, this deer, this is another picture of him last year. This deer is a deer that last year we had a tough time. Again, it was just some weird pictures. You know, right here he looks very mature. He's got a little pot belly, you know, you can tell. And there were some other pictures we saw. We weren't, you know, convinced he was 4 or 5. And then we got the pictures of him this year, and there is no doubt this deer is at least 5 years old. He's just a brute. He actually, and you can actually see in the background, I believe, is that
That's Big
Big
Brow.
Brow. We believe he's the most dominant buck on this property. We got some trail cam photos of him. He's on this trophy rock, and a couple of the deer tried to get up, and nah, that ain't gonna happen with him on the trophy rock. We believe he's the most dominant deer, and even in this picture, he actually, I think, keeps Big Brow off the trophy rock a little bit. So that was surprising to us that he is the most dominant deer. But as you can see, I mean, he's just a whopper. And you know, he still doesn't have super great tine length. He's got good tine length. His G4s on both sides. Well, G4 on his left side's quite a bit better than his right, but neither are super big by any means. But he's got a cool unicorn point in the middle of his rack that is neat. You know, scoring this deer, I mean, it's just tough because his mass looks so good. He's obviously going to have good beam length. You know, I think sometimes when you look at the size of the deer's body and other features that, you know, you can see a G3 on his right side that probably is taller than what we think it is. So, I mean, it's really hard to tell. I mean, I feel very confident this deer's 100 in the 160s. I don't know they'll go much more than that, but again, you get him, you know, it looks like he's palmating through his bases, so, or through his main beam, and, you know, as you all know, mash measurements are huge and critical. So, who knows? I mean, I feel comfortable saying he's in the 160s, but either way, him and Big Brow, they're 2 super old deer. I mean, I think this deer's at least 5.5, if not 6.5. I mean, he could be 7.5. We don't know, but we're for sure he's a 5.5 or older. And it's the same story as Big Brow. We're hunting him right on that southern edge in that little island with the food plot and the beans. Deer hunting specifically. And, all right, I already messed up again. See, I forget where I'm gonna go. You see, and not just deer, but mature bucks. Told Uriah, I thought maybe last year I saw more mature bucks in a month span here than I saw the previous 2 years combined. All right, we're gonna have to stop there.